Chapter 6. Universal Reasons for Poverty. You cannot conquer what you don't confront, and you cannot confront what you have not identified. Travel with me for a while into the world of imagination. Imagine a man trying all he can to operate an electronic gadget without any result. He tries all the buttons and does all he can without being able to operate the electronic gadget successfully. After much effort, he picks up the owner's manual to discover that the first and most important step has been ignored, namely, to plug the gadget to electricity. How can an electronic gadget function when it is not connected to electricity? When the gadget is connected, all efforts will now produce results. For all the efforts previously put into operating the electronic gadget was not wrong, but they could not produce the desired or expected result because there was a fundamental error. The electronic gadget was not connected to electricity. Many people in life are like that man because they keep doing things in disorder and putting the cart before the horse. If you ask a wrong question, you will definitely get a wrong answer. What can I do to be rich and wealthy? Wrong question. Why am I not rich and wealthy? Right question. Many people spend all their time wondering and searching for what they can do to be rich and wealthy, instead of finding out why they are not rich and wealthy and dealing with the root causes. If you want to have what you have never had, then you need to first become the person you have never become. Discovering the reason why you are poor is the first step, and the right way to approach the issue, because when you discover the root causes or reasons for your situation and deal with it, the stage is then set to change the situation. Can you imagine someone with poverty mentality not dealing with that first, but establishing multiple streams of income? They will still be poor because their mindset of consuming and not delaying gratification will make them squander all the money they make. For over a decade, I have researched on why people are poor all over the world. I have realized some universal reasons for poverty, lack, and hardship. Regardless of age, race, gender, religion, title, or location, the reasons are the same. Due to space constraint, I will only discuss 6 of them in this book. 1. Ignorance. It is an open secret that knowledge is power, but the opposite of that is equally true. Ignorance is powerlessness, and ignorance is deadly. Many people are students in the school of ignorance, and this has been the reason behind their poverty. From nation to nation, you will observe people who are poor and discover that they all fall under 5 categories of ignorance thus. Ignorance of who they are. A lot of people are poor because they are ignorant of who they are. In the great movie The Prince and the Pauper, we see the exchange and power of your mentality. Even though they exchanged roles, it was difficult for the prince to adjust into the lifestyle of a pauper without the real him showing up. It was equally difficult for the pauper to fully enjoy and live like a prince without the real him showing up. Their mindsets influenced their role plays. The prince knew who he was, and hence could not fully surrender to the life of shame and reproach. If you discover the real you as intended by the Creator, it will be very difficult for you to settle for a life of poverty and hardship. Ignorance of what they have. An undiscovered potential is a useless potential, and many stay poor because they are ignorant of what they have. Their gifts, talents, and potentials are buried within them, but they have not discovered them. You have to discover to recover. Can you imagine the spider that has all it needs to spin a web going about looking for what to use to spin a web? That is the same way we all have what it takes to create wealth inside us, yet looking for what to use to create wealth. There is the story of a man who desired to travel out of his country to seek for greener pastures in a foreign land. He sold all his belongings to buy the ticket for the ship that will take him on the journey. He bought bottles of water and a pack of biscuit with what he had left, so he could feed on that on the journey. He boarded the ship and locked himself in his cabin. He saw people eating and drinking from day to day, week to week, and wished he could enjoy like them, but concluded he could not because he did not have money to pay for the food. These people are really lucky, he thought to himself daily. How I wish I am as lucky as they are. After a few weeks, the trip was about to end, and he got a knock on his cabin door. It was the captain who had come to specially invite him for the final arrival banquet, because he realized this particular passenger has never been present for any menu or ordered anything all through the trip. When he opened the door, these conversations ensued. Captain: Hello, sir. I noticed you have not ordered anything or been at any meal all through the journey. I hope there is no problem, or are you not okay with our menu? I'm here to specially invite you to tonight's arrival banquet because we'll be docking early tomorrow morning. Passenger: Looking puzzled, he replied, I don't have any problem with your meal, and I actually wish I was lucky and rich like the other passengers to afford the meals. I cannot afford more than the water and biscuit I brought on board, which I have exhausted a while ago. Captain: Shocked and confused, he replied the passenger by asking to see his ticket, after which he informed him that the ticket he has qualified him for 3 meals per day, buffet style, all through the journey. He had suffered for nothing due to ignorance of what he had. Many are like that, wishing they are lucky and envying others who are not better than them, but only more knowledgeable about what they have. What do you have? Ignorance of what they can do. I have done all I can do. What else do you want me to do? I don't know what to do anymore. These are comments you hear from this category of people. Everybody can become rich and wealthy if they only do what they are supposed to do. One question I have been asked many times is, can everybody become rich? My answer is always the same. Everybody can be rich, but not everybody will be rich. The reason is simply because not everybody will pay the price needed for financial freedom. Many people spend all their time wondering and searching for what they can do to be rich and wealthy, instead of finding out why they are not rich and wealthy and dealing with the root causes. If you want to have what you have never had, then you need to first become the person you have never become. Discovering the reason why you are poor is the first step. Everybody can be rich, but not everybody will be rich. The reason is simply because not everybody will pay the price needed for financial freedom. Many don't know why they are poor, how they can be rich, what they can do, etc., and they end up remaining poor even though they have the potential to be rich. That is why this book you are reading is the solution to the poverty issue. Ignorance of what they should avoid. There are many poverty-promoting mindsets, habits, attitudes, pronouncements, lifestyles, beliefs, etc. existing in the life of poor people the world over. I have asked people questions globally and realized that poor people are the same anywhere in the world. They allow promoters of poverty to don't even know that they are the main culprit in their own purse in their lives, and hence they stay poor. Many people blame their parents, the society, the government, their experiences, etc. Why am I poor? What are the things I must avoid to be financially free, etc.? These are some of the questions to get answers to if one wants to become financially free. If it is going to be, it is up to you, because no one can make you fail without your permission. Ignorance of wealth creation principles and strategies. If all the poor people worldwide knew what steps to take to become rich and wealthy, many of them would take them if they really want to be free. Ignorance of universal wealth creation principles and strategies has been the undoing of many. Amazingly, due to poverty mentality, many poor people would not invest in materials and products that can help them get these principles and strategies. There are countless books, tapes, seminars, etc. that reveal numerous wealth creation principles and strategies all over the world, but those who need them most do not value them enough to invest in them. The book in your hand is a tool that can eradicate poverty, but I will not be surprised if you got it as a gift, borrowed it, or otherwise. Go to any rich man's office or house and see their library, and you will be amazed at how many books and development products they have. Do you think they became rich and decided to buy books and have a library, or as they were buying books, reading, and developing themselves, they became rich as a result? The answer is obvious. The knowledge came before the result. The process came before the product. I have heard people say of information products, it is too expensive. Well, if you think knowledge is expensive, try ignorance. It will surely cost you more. Why are people poor the world over? Number one reason is ignorance. Let's move on. 2. Laziness. There are no menial jobs but only menial minds, and the road to poverty is paved with laziness and good intention without corresponding action. The second major reason for poverty all over the world is laziness, and you will be amazed at how laziness has disguised itself. I have seen many who claim to be jobless and seeking employment refuse some jobs as not being good enough or being too menial, and I wonder, because a close observation reveals they are not even guiltless. Many want corporate jobs without a corporate certificate, and even those who know what to do fail to do it. Lazy people have trademarks that unveil them wherever they are, and I want us to examine them. You may disagree with some first, but with time you will come to agree. Lazy people always have excuses to give. Lazy people always have people to blame. Lazy people always have a victim or entitlement mentality. Lazy people always have a tendency to steal when chanced. Lazy people always have delusion of grandeur. Lazy people are always idle or busy doing nothing. Lazy people always love excessive sleep. Lazy people always watch too much television. Lazy people always waste valuable time on unproductive things. Lazy people are mostly stingy. Lazy people always procrastinate. Lazy people are always prone to drug and alcohol addiction. Lazy people are always prone to sex and are party freaks. These may not be general to all because I am not generalizing or stereotyping, but you will see one or more of these signs in lazy people, and one or more of these in existence in an individual's life may just be the symptoms of a greater disease called laziness. 3. Unfaithfulness. Have you noticed how difficult it has become in today's world to find faithful people? Everywhere you turn, you see and hear tales of woes being inflicted by unfaithfulness. Some people even seem to have a pact with poverty, because anytime they have an opportunity to change their financial status, they end up messing it up by being unfaithful or cutting corners. Shortcut is the longest cut. Are you faithful? Are you dependable? Can you be trusted? I cannot even begin to tell you of stories of people I know whose financial situation would have been better if only they have been faithful in the opportunity they had. I know of people today who have money to invest but cannot find faithful people to trust with their money. Unfaithfulness is wickedness. Unfaithfulness leads to destruction. Unfaithfulness closes doors. Unfaithfulness leads to greed and corruption. Unfaithfulness leads to poverty, lack, and hardship. A wise man once said, "Confidence in an unfaithful man is like a broken tooth and foot out of joint." Faithful people are scarce, but unfaithful people are a dime for a dozen. Can an unfaithful man ever become rich and wealthy? It is unlikely, and even if it happens, it does not last. I have never seen a successful armed robber, drug dealer, prostitute, etc. with a global and generational business. If you know of any unfaithful person or any assassin, drug dealer, prostitute, etc. with a global and generational business, educate me on that. Dishonesty, fraud, corruption, and unfaithfulness are not the proper way to become rich and wealthy. Whenever you have the opportunity to be in a place of responsibility, all which is required of you is to be faithful so that you can be honored. If you are unfaithful in little, you close the door of promotion against yourself. If you are unfaithful in other people's business, you close the door of starting your own and sow a seed of reaping the same, if you ever do have your own. If you are unfaithful in financial matters, you will be unfaithful in other areas. It is only a matter of time. Many people are poor today because they are unfaithful. 4. Pride. Another major reason for poverty in many people's lives all over the world is pride, and I have seen many people remain poor and jobless due to pride. Proud people are unteachable and refuse to follow the instructions that can help them become financially free. Proud people overestimate themselves and their importance, and hence don't cut their coat according to their cloth and size. Proud people always avoid starting small or from where they are because they have a delusion of grandeur. Proud people always end up in shame and poverty. Pride brings nothing good in the lives of those who retain it. Pride brings a man low and leads to destruction. Adesuwa was a bank executive for years until she lost her job during a national bank consolidation exercise, and she was confused as to the way forward because she was now out of job without any savings or investment to fall back on, which is typical of many in the rat race. She could have allowed pride to stop her from taking the next step, which was to go and learn how to sew clothes from her neighbor's daughter as a step to going into fashion business. She humbled herself, ignored her status, and started her own clothing business with her former colleagues as her customers. Today, she is doing well and even has employed some of her former colleagues as her staff in a business that today has brought her financial freedom. Don't forget, like I said earlier, there are no menial jobs, only menial minds. 5. Disobedience. How many of you would have an employee of yours come to work late regularly, disobey your instructions, ignore company policies, live anyhow without concern for company ethics or image, etc., and still promote him continually in your business? I doubt if any of you would. If disobedient employees can't get a promotion from you, how come you expect to disobey the laws of life and still be rewarded with wealth? Disobedience has kept many people away from the wealthy place and closed the door against them. There are two dimensions of disobedience I have observed that keep people poor all over the world. Disobedience to the laws of life, disobedience to the laws of wealth creation. There are laws of life that everyone in existence needs to obey to win in life, e.g., the law of self-preservation, the law of sowing and reaping, the law of input and creation of values, the law of teamwork, the law of positive thinking, the law of positive affirmations or confessions, etc. Many in life have the willingness to become rich and wealthy, but yet disobey the laws of wealth creation which are vital for financial freedom, e.g., the law of financial intelligence, the law of saving and delayed gratification, the law of investment, the law of multiple streams of income, etc. Ponder on these. Delayed obedience is disobedience. Partial obedience is disobedience. Adjusted obedience is disobedience. Incomplete obedience is disobedience. 6. Lack of investment mentality. In my travels all over the world, I have observed that apart from the other reasons for poverty we have examined, this seems to be the most rampant, because many don't even realize it as an issue that needs attention in their lives. A lot of people labor endlessly in vain because they lack investment mentality to turn their labor into wealth. This book is set to help settle that, and I will move on now to spend more time in the next chapter to deal on this subject.